This morning's session is to talk about the Continental Sling range. So it's a range that a comparable range to slings used on the continent. So hopefully it's going to be of interest to you. We will show you all of them in detail, but they are on the website for further information. But just to give you a little background, I've been with Silvalea for 23 years. And so have a lot of knowledge with slings and their suitability. So we'll talk about the pros and cons for each style. We're not moving and handling advisors, so we're purely here just to show you the products and explain those. We do have helpful information for you. Certainly for each session, we try and do a poster of the slings that we are featuring, which can be sent to you if it's helpful. But to start with, Alice, would you just kindly bring up the slings we're going to show today? So the Continental slings are on the poster, and we'll go through each of them. So this is basically what it looks like. So they're very familiar shapes, but they've got slight individual features, which we'll explain. But this is just a poster with the details, the sling name, code, few little points about them. So we're looking at these. But to support this, each of them is detailed on the website. And there's a lot of information on the website. For example, this is the low convenience. Lots of helpful photographs that you can scroll through that shows you the sling from different angles. There's also a data sheet that you can print off and use, which summarises the sling and details sizing, measurements, all the codes, fabric, the safe working load. So, you know, we're trying to help provide as much help to you guys as possible. Sizing guides, so the sling body sizing for each style, and sling shape, which gives you the sling measurement. So hopefully this will help and give you more information, because I know sometimes it's hard to take it all in one go. Brilliant, thanks, Alice. So we'll look at this range. We'll look at each one. Seem to have got we've got an issue with technicals on the technical side, Alice. Are we all right?
No, we're okay.
Good. Okay. Right. I'll start with this. This is if I tell you a little bit about the slings, Jude, if you mind holding that, please. The Continental slings are, as I said, they're comparable to the companies that provide on the continent, and those companies like the rigid fabric. It's quite robust. It's a structured polyester, so it's quite solid compared to a standard polyester. So you will see straight away, we make it in this colour, which is a bit of a flesh pink, but it is a solid fabric, and it's got a natural sheen, which is quite good if you've got to try and get the sling into tighter chairs, because the sheen on the fabric helps to slide it in. So quite a good feature of that. It will wash up to the 85, so still at a good temperature to wash. Often we will say low tumble dry or no tumble dry. So, you know, it's really important that you will check the individual sling for washing. But all of the styles will have a safe working load of 220, which is 35 stone. So all of the slings we feature this morning will have that safe working load. The sling labelling is very important. I do talk about this a lot. You know, if you've joined other sessions, it's very important that you can read the safety instructions on a sling. If you can't read it and the sling's illegible, then it will contravene the LOLA regulations. So LOLA state that instructions must be clear on the sling. So make sure you can read it. If you can't, you need to withdraw the sling from use. But Silvalea have woven labels now. These are woven, so they don't tend to fade like the printed ones. So they're very clear. They will have clear details of any safety instructions, the safe working load, the washing, sling codes, the hoist type. So it is a good label. The sizing, again, is all woven. So sizing, there is a date of manufacture on the label there, unique barcode and serial number for traceability, and a place there to mark when the slings are checked. So slings need to be serviced and checked every 6 to 12 months in line with your hoisting. And it's just a common sense, competent check that you check that there's no signs of wear, the threads are all in place, the binding's in place, there's no anything of worry. So it's just a real competent, sensible check. The 6 to 12 months checks are more detailed, but you need to encourage carers to check the sling, do a visual check every time it's used for any potential signs of wear that could then result in a problem. So encourage them to check before they put it on. So this is the full back one. We call this one the universal high. It is a high back, so it will give high and back support. The sling does have a channel. So it comes with a channel, and that's for the waist support. So it's a removable waist support, which actually is quite useful because some people may not need it. And we can interchange sizes. So although this is a small sling, you may want a medium waist support. And the waist supports we provide with this range are elasticated. So they are very stretchy. Which is really good, I think, because they will hug the waist and stretch right round and won't slacken off. So it will really be supportive. And there's extra bits to stretch to give a really firm support to the waist. They are stretchy and they are elasticated. So consequently, you need to take care with the elastication and its snagging. Good morning, we've had a new viewer. If you wouldn't mind turning off your camera and muting, then that'd be great. Thank you very much. So the waist support, it just slides in the channel. Through there, that's it. To fit like that. So very simple. As I said, you know, interchangeable, which is really good for different sizing. I'm going to put this on Judith. Because we're using a nice open chair. But as I said, it is a good fabric to slide into tighter chairs. This one is going to go to the seat of the sling, of the slings going down to the base. It's important when applying a sling, full body's in, it gets right down here to ensure that it gets the legs round. Waist support, good feature for positioning. So if someone's applying the sling on the bed, they know then that waist support's got to be fitted here. So they then can judge that it's in the right place. So it's got to be waist, the waist support, not a chest support. Otherwise it will be too high and fitted straight away too high. So that's fitted low at the waist. Judith's got it on firm. Leg sections have got foam in. So they will give comfort and they slide through, as I said, because of the sheen of the fabric. Cross them over to help prevent the legs from splaying. Just slip it up. Colour-coded loops. We're using the short shoulder, long leg. Start with. Right. Just take up the slack. Always important just to take up the slack and check that everything is attached, not jumped off. This is a good hoist because we've got the oh, hang on, I've got that on the wrong one. So straight away I've noticed it's not quite symmetrical, so we'll just double check that. That's why it's good just to check before you go too far. But this hoist has got a clip that you lift, which is quite a good feature. Okay, are we all right? So this is the high back version, if you're looking on the website or when you get your poster. So it will give full back support. So full back. We've got full bones in this, in the back. here, which need to be removed for laundering. If we take them out, though, it won't give that head support, so it's important to keep them in if you need the support to the head. But good full body support, access. There's good access for hygiene if you need to do a hygiene transfer. Of course, clothing would have to be removed there. But because of the waist support here, Jude, can you slip through that? Yeah. So it is giving support. If we take the waist support off, I think if you haven't got a waist support, and the sling is slightly big, can you slump? She's going to be slumping through. So the waist support can help if you've got someone that's got variable tone. But just to think about that and keep the waist support in. So very standard, very standard pickup. Good for, you know, your standard symmetrical compliant shapes. Often if you've got very complex shapes, asymmetrical shapes, we look at a different shape, but this is a good standard style option with this nice structured fabric. Let me just show you, we do one that is lower cut, so it's without the head support, which is the universal. Let me show you the comparison. So it's a lower shape. So effectively it works exactly the same lower half, but it fits around. Let me hold that, Julie. Your arm in here. It fits around to the shoulders. So that's the universal, and this is the universal high. So those are the two options in this shape. Let me see. Are there any questions on this one, Alice? Are we all right so far?
No questions so far, Mandy.
Okay. Take this off. I'm going to show you a couple of the most popular styles within this range, and that is the low back and the low convenience. And they're popular in as much that they really will offer extra access, and they're used for hygiene transfers a lot. Let me just show you, not Jude. So if you're looking at the website, this is the low convenience. It is effectively a toilet sling as well, because of the access it gives, which we'll show you, and because the arms are going to be on the outside. So there's padding and cushioning for the underarm bit, but it's not a full body sling. So you can see there's not much to it. This one comes as standard with the waist strap. So it will come with it. Previous one, you have to request it. But again, you can request different sizes if needed. All for Judith here. But this one's going to the belt line here, so we're not struggling to get it to the base. But it's still important that it's a waist support, so it needs to go around the waist to give you the correct positioning there. And this has a thicker foam within the leg paddles, so it's much more structured, which makes it easier if you're getting it into a tight chair, because you can slide it underneath and it won't ruffle like the soft fabric. So this one has got foam throughout, so it's much more supportive. But again, we're crossing the legs. Leg paddles need to be positioned towards the back of the knee. They will slightly readjust when they're hoisted, but you know, to get the leg paddles towards the back of the knee. So if you start them positioned too far back, then it's going to bite in and ride up into the crutch. So make sure you try and get the sling leg paddles towards the knee to begin with. So again, we'll hook it up with the short shoulder, long leg. Arms are on the outside. Just taking up the slack with just check. Okay. We've got it on in the right place. So this is the low convenience, which is a very strange name, but we have supplied it to a lot of people that self-hoist. Because it's quite rigid, they can get it on the hoist and transfer it down quite easily because it's not like a floppy fabric. So they find it's a good, easy style to do that because of the firmness of the fabric. And arms are on the outside. This back section has got the foam in, so much deeper in the back compared to a traditional toilet sling, but you can see the access. So there's a lot of access there for those that self-hoist and need to do a toilet transfer. So a really good shape, often used instead of the toilet sling because it gives that extra back support and the foam in the legs is much more comfortable. But arms out, ensure that you've got, you know, a couple of finger widths under that axilla positioning, but the waist support, because it's been positioned at the waist, it won't, and it's elasticated, it stretches around and won't loosen off like a traditional type of waist support. Can you get about?
This is a very comfortable sling.
It's a really good fit on Judith. This is a small, but a really good, useful style. I'd have to say it's the next step up from a standard toilet sling. So if you find that the standard access sling isn't giving enough support, then I would suggest that you look at this shape. So this is the low convenience style. If you've got somebody that has issues putting their arms over because they've got maybe shoulder issues or they've had a mastectomy, then we can offer one that's cut slightly higher. So it supports the shoulders and the arms are on the inside. So this is called the low back. And if I just put it around Jude, it's exactly the same lower section, but it comes around the shoulders. So effectively it means that you can bring your arms inside, or your arms are inside. But I will have to say that if someone's got shoulder issues and they need their arms in, to make sure that you have actually got the right width spreader bar. Because, you know, if you put, Jude, if you bring your arms in on that one.
Tight.
Yeah, so bring your arms down here. That's it. So on Judith, when you can see, because this spreader bar is very narrow, we've got it because she's quite small, but arms are in, it's going to force her shoulders to protract a little bit. So what I'm saying is if you've got someone with painful shoulders and you're putting the sling onto a narrow spreader bar, just be mindful that it may add to that discomfort. The spreader bar widths are really important for anyone with significant pain. So you need to ensure that, you know, it's wider than their body, wider than that painful area. Otherwise, it will just do that. So those two offer exactly the same lower section, and you'll see them on the website, the images we've got, but it's the low convenience, arms out to convenience yourself, or the low back. But a really good option for access and toileting, and they both will have the waist support supplied. So Alice, do we have any questions on those two?
No, no questions so far.
Dan? So the next style I'm going to show you is the ultimate really in all of these things, because it gives a lot more support and it will suit someone that has got more variable tone. And it looks a little bit complicated, but actually, if you just explain it simply, then hopefully you understand it. We call it the easy access. So it's the Continental Easy Access. It's made in the same fabric and it's completely has a complete foam lining, so it's very supportive and it's quite rigid. So it will help to support someone with variable or poor tone and give a lot of access for hygiene. It's got a built-in head support, and the trunk section wraps around to support the trunk here. So if we're looking at someone, you know, that needs that extra support, this will wrap around very firmly. So we need to weigh that up, whether that's going to be a problem. But let's have a look at it on. Again, we're only going to the belt lines. We're not going to struggle to get it down if we've got a tight chair. And it's wrapping around the trunk. The sling itself wraps around the trunk and crosses through the loop on the opposite side. So we've got a trunk section there. The legs foam as before. So they will slide in again towards the knee and cross through there to keep them from splaying. So we've got the leg sections. We've got a trunk section here. And we've got a counterbalance. So this is the third strap here. The counterbalance strap is there, so it will allow movement. Just going to move that bone up. It will allow movement if you've got someone that's active, but will keep them contained. So, you know, it looks like there's extra tape. So you just build it from the bottom. You put the on the yellow. The thoracic section has various options of loops. Go on the last one, yeah. And then the counterbalance goes on last. So on this hoist, as we've only got one hook each side, the counterbalance needs to go on last to allow the movement. So it will just sit on top of the others. If you've got a third hook, then put it on the third hook. Now we have to just slowly take up the slack here. And it will wrap around Jude. You're going to wrap firmly around her. You will see that the trunk section will close around. So if it's too tight, loosen it. You okay?
Yeah.
You don't want the sling to completely overlap because it's maybe too big then. But it will fit firm. So the thing is, you need to weigh up whether the firmness is going to be too much. But ultimately, it's going to keep Judith contained. It was to lose tone completely. Are you trying?
Yeah.
She's trying, and she, you know, she's wriggly. The counterbalance will roll through, so you can see there that it will allow that without restricting her, but it's keeping her within that sling. So, you know, for active users, you know, it's a way of containing them, maybe reducing the care because it's going to, you know, support them for transfer. The drawbacks are that it will fit firm. So if you can you stamp through that? No. So you know, the sling is doing that for, you know, supporting her.
Good access at the back.
Very good access still. So still gets the belt line there. The disadvantage, I think, is it will be firm. So if you've got someone that's got breathing difficulties or they don't like the restriction, it won't work. And it might bite in if you've got someone that's quite shapely, because the way it's cut. But it, as I said, it's been very successful for youngsters that got lots of movement, because it will contain them. So if you're looking at the website, there is a video, I think, and it's called the Easy Access.
All CP.
Yeah, CP type shapes, you know, long, narrow, thin shapes. It's a really good option. Any questions on this one, Alice?
No, no questions so far.
So we class that one as the sort of ultimate in toileting. The benefits are that you haven't got the waistband here. So if someone's got a peg, then it avoids the peg. It will push the bust up. So youngsters with a chest or ladies with a chest, it will naturally do that. So just to bear in mind that that may happen. But when you need a lot of support and good access for toileting, then it is a good option. So the last one within this family of slings is a turning type sling. And as I haven't got a bed, I'm going to show you this on the website because it's It's called the Bradbury Turner. It's made in the same fabric, easy to introduce on a bed, but literally you slide it in, hook it up, and will help to turn or if you need to repositioning. But Alice is going to bring it up on the website here. But it's clearer to show you with these photographs here. So you attach one side to the base of the bed, so you need to secure it to the frame, and then hook up the other side to help turn. So you can see it's very simple, very popular for turning, and it's made in the structured fabric, so quite robust and simple to use. All the information is there, the sizing, and if you need extra help there with.
It's just one
Yeah.
size, isn't
It
it?
is one size, but quite adjustable. Okay, thanks, Alice. So in a nutshell, that is the Continental range. You know, it's, as I said earlier, for those that are late to joining us, it's a range that is a comparable range to the Continental companies that make slings out of the structured fabric. And they like the robust structured polyester. So it's what we are comparables to those. You know, there's quite a few different styles there, all do different things, but the most popular, as I said, would be the low convenience, low back, because of the benefit of all the access for toileting. So if you do need to have a look at one, just let us know. You know, we have a good support here. If you need to see something, try something, we have some trial kits. If they're out, then of course we may have to put you on a list, but certainly you know, just let us know. So any final questions? Let me just check that anyone has any final questions regarding this particular subject.
There's none in the chat at the moment, Mandy.
Okay, it's probably our quickest session because, you know, there's only a selection of things that we cover, but we do have lots of other sessions that we cover. I think next week we're looking at paediatric slings.
That'll be in May.
Oh, what's the next week one?
So the one, the care home one, care homes is coming up.
Yeah, we've got care home, popular care home slings. We've got paediatrics, and we've got standard shapes. So understanding all the standard shapes of slings. So there are others. Please look at the website under the training section if you need to see what's about and the dates. But certainly, you know, thank you for your time. Please give us feedback if you need to make any suggestions. And if you'd like the poster, we'll certainly forward you the poster. But thanks to Alice and Judith for helping, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future. Was that a question, Alice, I need to address?
It was just a quick question. Is there a video for the repositioning sling on the site? I was just about to say there is an instruction of use, but also an instructional video which will talk you through each step.
Yes, so most of the products will have a complete little package of information. If it's not enough for you, let us know and we will create something or provide additional information. So please just, you know, let us know. But thank you very much, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future.